definitely one of the main things was that, I'm not going to give up just because she's here now. If anything, that drives me more to show her, don't give up, keep going. Life's going to throw you curveballs all the time. Keep going, keep going after what you love and the things that make life worthwhile.
I am incredibly excited to be sitting down with Casey Pritchard, and she is no stranger to the podcast. I interviewed her actually in June of 2021. So I'm so excited to catch up. It's been a couple of years, and we talk about how going through and navigating life with motocross, hair scrambles, doing all the things while being a new mom. So buckle up and let's jump into the podcast. Hey, hi, hello. I'm Angelisa, your host for Brat Babes Throttle Talk, and I'm so excited to be chatting with Casey Pritchard. It's been 2 years since our last chat, right?
Yeah.
2 years, and lots has changed, lots have happened. So I'm very excited to catch up and hear what you've been up to. So welcome. And thanks again for joining me on today's episode. And for those that are listening or watching over on YouTube, why don't you introduce yourself just in case others haven't caught up on the last episode?
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Casey Pritchard. I'm from upstate New York and I'm big into motorcycle racing. And for a short time, I was doing snowcross racing. So yeah, it's been 2 years. So much has changed. I'm glad we stayed in touch and yeah, both of us, lots of life changes.
Lots of life changes, that's for sure. Yeah, last we chatted, which again was back in 2021, June 15th, actually. I had to dig that up in the archives. I was like, when was the last time we sat down and chat? So June 15th, 2021, your goal at that time was hitting up or doing a hair scramble because you've never done one before. So I'm curious, were you able to do a hair scramble?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
We did it.
You did it. Oh, well, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was a wild ride.
Yeah. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about it? From your experience from, I guess, motocross to a hair scramble.
Yeah. So the week leading up to it, I mean, that whole summer was a scramble, you would say. So I was working a lot and yeah, it was a scramble getting to the event. I was driving there that morning and it was raining. I had never checked the weather. So I was like, well, we're already committed. So here we go. So I get there and it's dark and rainy and I met up with some friends and yeah, we did the race and oh man, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. You're riding for a couple hours and we're in the rain. There's a part of the section of the loop where the mud was up to your fenders. And if you remember, I had a brand new bike. I think it was only 6 weeks old. I had the brand new gas. And I'm going through this wood section and the mud is up to my knees, up to the fenders. And there are people laying stuck in the mud, bikes sticking up, people down. And I'm just and steam's coming out of their bikes. It's coming out of my bike. And I'm just oh my God, this is crazy.
What did I sign up for?
Yeah, exactly. And it starts raining. So, your tear-offs are getting wet. And there's this one part of the course where you're coming down the mountain and it's all hardwoods. It's open, but there's trees everywhere and you're on single track. And it's kind of going back and forth. I can see the trail ahead of me down the hill. And I had my front brake and my rear brake completely engaged and I was still flying down the hill. So it was a moment of fear, but it's okay, I'll stop when I get to the bottom. But, just switching, navigating between trees and hope you don't hit something. That is hair scrambles.
In a nutshell. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Okay. So
it was fun. And afterwards I was oh, that was rough, but I'd do it again.
Yeah. And did you do it again after that?
I haven't gone again yet.
Okay. So is that in the works?
It's in the works.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's so awesome. I love hearing that. And what a change up from like motocross, like from grooming a track to like literally in the shits of like whatever the woods throws at you.
Yeah. I mean, motocross tracks can get pretty rough like that too. I would
Totally.
say I've had those moments in motocross races where the mud is a foot or two deep and there's bodies everywhere on the ground and you're just hoping to survive.
Totally. Oh my gosh. Well, it sounds like it was a good time, but like a struggle fest as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, let's catch up on what has happened over the last couple years.
So my life changed a lot
Mhm.
after that hair scramble, actually.
Okay.
I took a new job that summer.
Okay.
That was a good move because it's closer to home. So that was great. It opened me up to, I was house shopping for the whole year before that, and I wasn't able to find anything that wasn't going to add on to my already hour commute. So finding a job closer to home, I was able to find a house. So I bought a house,
Oh, awesome.
and I had a baby.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, and then this past year, I've been back into racing, and yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a crazy couple years, but here we are.
Yeah, for sure. Um, and that was actually, yeah, one of my questions is I knew that you had a little baby girl, and she just turned 1, you were saying in June?
July.
July. Okay, July.
Yep,
Uh,
middle of July.
oh my goodness. So can you tell us a little bit about like how it was navigating, because I know you're a competitive racer, navigating, I guess, motherhood and, all those things. Because I do believe that a lot of us can relate, or, there are some moms to be or expecting, and how, you were able to navigate life.
Sure. It was I guess the months leading up to her being born, it was like, all right, how's life gonna change and what can I do moving forward? And I think that's one of the biggest challenges being a female racer is like, how do you navigate that? Like, or I would think like you're done. This is it. This is now your life. You're a mom now. You're what you want is kind of set to the side and your priorities change. But I was more determined than ever to finish what I started. There's a few goals I still have with racing that I'd like to accomplish, and realizing that um, having a baby now, my life's going to change a lot over the next few years, and what we're doing and her activities. So it was kind of a now or never kind of thing.
Mhm.
And so I sat down with my family and laid out what the plan was, and they agreed to help support and help however they could. And so yeah, I planned out this last year, which is the first year with her, um, what the goals were and what we were trying to do, and sort of had the plan. But at the same time, you can make all the plans you want, and life's going to happen either way. So I try to make goals that were, achievable, and kind of had the attitude of if it happens, great. If it doesn't, at least we're trying and working towards something.
Mhm.
So yeah, lots of ups and downs. But I think having those plans in place really helped keep me motivated and keep working towards what our goals are.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say for again anyone listening in is sitting down and having those conversations and finding the support. Scheduling is a big one too. I'm sure you have to do that with your training,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like so it's so great to hear that you have the support and that you are able to continue. And like you said, life happens, right? Things can
Yeah, I guess
get
juggling
in.
schedules is the hardest part,
Mhm.
trying to get in. I mean, I I have a house I'm trying to take care of, go to work, and
Mhm.
then I'm still fitting in exercise and that family time and, coming home, making dinner, cleaning the house,
Mhm.
taking care of the dog. It's a lot. And
Mhm.
so, if I miss a workout here and there, it is what it is. But,
Yeah.
all we can do is try.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like it's a circle, right? You can do really well at one thing, but then something else is kind of slacking. And we're just like, just on this wheel trying to
Yeah,
make it all work.
exactly.
And, different seasons of life too. Like some things are going really well. Like I said, some things aren't. But I always think to myself, and I do tell this to other women that, pop in my DMs and ask, like, hey, how did you do this? How did you do your sports with kids? And I always say, or at least I've always believed, is that our little ones are only going to be so little for so long. And our sports are always going to be there. Like they're never really going to go away.
Right.
And I always found that, and I'm not sure if you relate to this, but with sports, it just drives me even more. Like I want to be more of an influence for my daughters more than ever before.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm sure, yeah, like would you say that that's kind of your driving force as well as like
Yeah, I think that was
influencing?
definitely one of the main things was that, I'm not going to give up just because she's here now. If anything, that drives me more to show her, don't give up, keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Life's going to throw you curveballs all the time. Keep
Mm-hmm.
going, keep going after what you love and the things that make life worthwhile.
Absolutely. Oh, I love it. Yeah. And would you say like would you get her a bike and kind of do what you are doing like with racing and stuff?
I get asked that a lot. I got her a little balance bike and she did take right to it. And throwing her leg over, that was wild. So she does like it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so we'll see. I want it to be what she wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I want her to explore a lot of, anything that interests her. I want her to be able to do that. So whether that has to do with riding or motorcycles, that's great. But I won't be disappointed if she chooses something else.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's so awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that because I know, like I said, there's a lot of women out there that's like dipping their toes or at least thinking about it. And it's just always nice to have that conversation and just kind of know what to expect and how you can include kids into your life and that, yeah, being a mom doesn't mean your life is over. If anything is kind of where it starts, or at
Starts
least that's
again.
that's what I found. It's like it's just all about navigating, evolving, and how you can
Exactly.
like bring them with your journey.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, I also wanted to touch on, I'm just going back in my notes here. Last time we chatted, you were going to New York State Championships. And so I know, again, that was 2 years ago, but how did things go? And were you able to compete the following year?
Yeah. So I actually just did the New York State Championships last weekend.
Oh, you did. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe that's what it was. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. When we talked a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah. So the New York State Championships, it kind of happened the same way as that hair scramble. I had a week-long workshop beforehand and it was a lot of hours and I managed to get in a practice day, a workout, and get the bike ready. And it was like we're on the road Friday night. And while we were driving, it was raining, and I didn't check the weather again.
Right.
But it's like, oh, we're already committed. How bad is it going to be? And
Mhm.
so it was going to rain all night. And so it was going to be a mud race in the morning because it was a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. So got there Saturday morning and it's raining and never raced the track before. So I did practice there once a couple of years ago. So I at least sort of knew it. Um, but we went out. My first race was the men's class, the plus 30 class. So I went out with that class and slid around the track a little bit, but
Yeah.
it gave me some confidence for going into the women's race. By the time the women's race happened, it was closer to noon, and the track is a sand track. It actually dried up and became perfect conditions.
Oh, nice.
So that race was a blast. It was like, couldn't ask for better. We were done by noon. So then it was a scramble to get the bike washed and things settled in for the day. And we were back at the track the next morning for Sunday. And I had both races in the morning before. I think we were done by 10:30, and it was like
Wow.
boom, boom, done. So it was a lot. Super happy with how everything worked out. So yeah, it was a great event.
Awesome. And so then you have this weekend, which we were able to do the chat. So you have
Mhm.
like a kind of a relaxing weekend. And then next weekend, what's happening?
Next weekend is the Canadian American Championship race.
Okay.
Everyone calls it the Can-Am. That's at Area 51.
Okay.
It's in Western New York. I've done this event a bunch of times. It's one of the coolest events. It's one of my favorite tracks in New York. It's super technical, and we get a lot of girls from Canada. It's a huge turnout, and this year is special because my main sponsor, Dunn Tire, is sponsoring the women's prize purse along with Over and Out Moto events. And I have been working with Over and Out for a few years now, helping with promoting their women's only riding events. They do events all over the Northeast. They're women only, so that you have an opportunity to come and be part of the group. And it's a less intimidating environment. You're not at the track with everybody, and you get time to ride and to meet people, make friends. And I think everyone gets a lot out of it. Over and Out has done such an amazing job of creating all these little events within the event weekend. It's a camp out, and they'll do different riding classes depending on your skill level. They'll do like an enduro track, they'll do motocross, they do trail riding, and then they throw in like goat yoga and music and raffles and a skate park.
No way.
It's amazing, and a bunch of really badass girls are running it. Super proud to be a part of it and to help where I can. So they're getting into helping girls in the racing community as well by sponsoring events in both hair scrambles and motocross. And they're partnered with Monster Energy. So Vicky Golden is actually a part of it. And so she's been coming. They did a couple West Coast events, and then she comes back east to do a couple events here. But it's just such a great experience getting to meet these athletes and work with women to increase their skills and do all these activities together. It's just such a unique opportunity that we've never really had, especially on the East Coast. Like, it didn't exist here when I was growing up. So I love that it's here now and that I get to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I so agree. I'm such a big believer in gathering women to do these types of things because, like you said, it's just easier. Well, it's not easier, but it's just, it's better. It's better to be surrounded by women, and you just gain so much more confidence when you are riding together. And can you tell us where is this camp out? Because I do see Over and Out. I believe I follow them on Instagram. Where is it and when is that camp out? Do you know?
It moves around a little bit. So there's
Okay.
their event that started it all is in Pennsylvania.
Hmm.
They did the motocross event in New Jersey, and they're looking at a couple locations in the Northeast to do another motocross event next year.
Okay.
And they do a couple other campouts too that have been in PA.
Okay. Okay. So they do like motocross specific, and then they do like other ones
Yeah.
that kind of across
Yeah,
the
or they'll
country,
combine
basically.
it. They'll do dual sport races, not
Okay.
races,
Camp outs.
campouts. Yeah, where everything is combined. So they'll combine the dual sport and the trail riders, and then occasionally there's a motocross focus too.
Cool.
So each event's a little different.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome. I love hearing that. And I will share all of the, I'm sure they have a website. So I'll share
Yep,
the link.
they have a website.
Yeah.
They're on social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Awesome.
great way for girls to connect with each other. And they, like I said, the campouts are so fun. Made so many friends going to them.
Oh, that's awesome. So, sorry, maybe you said this already, but you're going, it's not next weekend for that one.
No, the Can-Am Championship is next weekend.
Yeah.
Over and Out is having an event 2 weeks after.
Okay. So you're going to go to
It's
that one?
mid-September. I will not be at that one.
Okay.
I have to go to Texas for an event, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's that one, and then I'll be at the motocross event next year.
Okay. Awesome. Oh, it would be so rad to come down to the States to do something like that and then meet you. That'd be
Yeah,
amazing.
that would be really great. We'll
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
set it up.
I know. I know. That's like one of my goals is to do a little bit of traveling and then checking out every like zone and areas, tracks, and that sort of thing. So
Yeah, absolutely.
one of these years, anyways, maybe when the girls are a little bit older.
Yeah, definitely. I want to get out by you too, even if
Yeah,
it's snowboarding in the winter or something. It'll
totally.
happen one of these days. And yeah, I'm so excited for my daughter to grow up, and hopefully she's into some of this stuff and wants to go do it with me.
Totally. Aw. Do you snowboard then?
Yes.
Do you do that often in the winters?
Yeah, I actually live right next to a ski resort.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so that's why I moved out to Colorado. I worked at a ski resort out there. And yeah, I've been snowboarding since I was real little, elementary school age. So I wanted
Okay.
to be in X Games, and then I got into dirt bikes, and
Game over.
then I was afraid to get hurt snowboarding because it would affect races that summer. So
Aw.
kind of put that dream aside. But yeah, I still snowboard quite a bit.
Nice. And I know you touched a little bit about this because last time we chatted, Snowcross was a big thing for you. Have you been doing anything or you kind of put that to the side for now?
Yeah, that opportunity, those guys ended up going into some other types of racing, and we just the conditions are not the greatest around here.
Okay.
The race division we were in has moved a lot of the races even further north to catch the snow. But yeah,
Mhm.
the weather in Western New York hasn't been the greatest. They canceled Salamanca, I think the year before because of conditions. So not on the plans right now, but maybe again someday. We'll
Mhm.
see what my daughter's into. Maybe she wants to get into it. But
For sure.
yeah, love to get another snowmobile one day. But
Yeah.
we'll do dirt bikes and snowboarding right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, those are snowboarding has such a special place in my heart. So like, yeah. I mean, yeah, you guys are
Yeah,
good.
I foresee us coming up that way to go snowboarding someday.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I live right. Well, I guess it's an hour where I am, but from Whistler. So
Nice.
yeah, yeah. Awesome. So we talked about Over and Out, and you're helping promoting their women's only riding events. And we talked about navigating motherhood and riding. I guess, yeah, my question would be any advice for those new moms who are expecting or are in their early stages of motherhood?
I think the best advice I have would be to just be flexible. Like we were talking about earlier, you can make all the plans you want,
Mhm.
but life is going to happen, and you're going to have the ups and downs, and just, I guess, prepare yourself as much as possible for that. There's going to be the greatest moments, and then there's going to be really difficult moments. And yeah, that's life. So just
Mhm.
try to enjoy every moment of it, because they're like you said, they're only this little once, so
Mhm.
enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And what are your goals for this winter? Are you able to continue racing or ride, train, that sort of thing?
Yes. So this winter my goal is to do an arena cross race, or races, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, after this fall, the goal is just to stay in shape, and try to ride. There's some indoor tracks within a few hours of where I live, so I'm gonna try to go do some practices, and then hopefully do an arena cross race or two.
Okay. And excuse my ignorance because we don't have indoor arenas. That would be awesome if we did.
Mhm.
So can you tell me a little bit about that? Like, do you have to book in? How do you train? Like, yeah.
It's a completely different track than outdoors.
Okay.
It's more technical. It's closer together.
Yeah.
You think of a stadium versus arena, the size of it, and then put a track in there with jumps, and
Right.
it's really tight technical riding, which I love.
Mhm.
I was really into it back when I used to race 15 years ago. Just the style of riding. It's really quick. You have to have quick reflexes, but it's really fun once you get into the flow of it.
Right.
So the arena cross races, they're all over the country. So it's harder to get to those, especially as an amateur, because you're driving, traveling, and all the time. And, it's an expensive sport. So they had one in Albany last year. So I went and did that one.
And then, is there anything right now that you are currently struggling with dirt, like, yeah, dirt biking, racing, that sort of thing?
The struggle, I guess, is trying to do it all,
Mhm.
and have a baby and a house and work and trying to manage all of that and stay on top of it and exercise. So I think the struggle is, when those life moments happen and it doesn't go to plan and having to adapt quickly and when there's
Mhm.
so much going on all the time. So I think that's the biggest struggle, but I'm trying to just enjoy the moment. I mean, I've worked this hard to get to where I am, and I feel like I'm finally I'm in a good place and I'm living the dream and just trying to step back when things get hard and going, made it this far.
Mhm. Mhm.
So even when there's struggles, it's, at the end of the day, I get to do what I love. And so I usually bounce back pretty quick and just roll with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And any big wins from the last time we chatted? So within the last couple of years, whether it's, yeah, again, racing or hair scrambles, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I was trying not to skip ahead. That arena cross race that I did, it was last fall. It was right after I had the baby, a few months later, and it was a longer recovery than planned.
Mhm.
So I did everything I could once I was cleared to get in shape again, and I had my eyes set on that event, and I was doing it no matter what. And yeah, we got there, and I ended up placing second. And so I was super proud because I hadn't been on an arena cross track since, I don't know, 2010 or before. So it had been
Wow.
that long. And so, I didn't have any practice. I rode my bike around the yard a couple times to try to get ready. And we just sent it.
Wow, that's massive, especially you just had a baby. And then what, July, like 3 months later, 2 months later?
4 months.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
4 months, but still, that's like, that's quick. So,
Yeah.
and then placing second. Wow. Congratulations. That is
Thanks.
massive. Yeah.
So that
Uh,
was that was a lot. But I'm really glad that I did it because I mean, there's obviously those points where we're like, don't do it, don't do it.
yeah. Would you say, I would love to know, were you like within that recovery stage? Because that's like, pretty massive. Our bodies go through like some big changes and having to recover. Did you do any like mental work, any self work, visualizations, or anything to like kind of get you mentally prepared for it?
Yeah, I mean, I think all through I had almost 2 months to train for it. Um, so I think it was just taking things slow,
Mhm.
doing the best I could. I had a brand new baby, and so I was adjusting and learning what to do with that and back to work. And so it was a lot. I think having that goal of racing that event kept my head on straight, and I was able to go through things smoothly because of taking that approach to go slow. And I think we talked about that in our interview last time, go slow to go fast. And it was like just nice and steady approach. Do what I could with what I had. And by the time I got to the event, it was like take a deep breath and go have fun.
Oh, awesome. Oh, I love that. And can you tell me a little bit about, I guess, because you said you had 2 months to after you got the go ahead to start training. What was training like for you? What did you do?
Um, so I had a emergency C-section and a
Okay.
blood transfusion. So
Okay.
I had to be very careful and ease back into any sort of physical training.
Okay.
So I started off with a lot of yoga and
Okay.
stretching, and then just body weight exercises,
Mhm.
probably for the first month or so. And then
Okay.
I started just slowly introducing weight exercises. And I did start running at some point in there and doing a 5K. Um, so just it was really light activity for the first month, and then the second month I started getting into lifting a little bit of weights and incorporating that in. So I would lift weights maybe a couple times a week.
Hmm.
Um, Try
Okay.
to run as much as I can,
Yeah.
but it's usually like once a week getting
Yeah.
a run in.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Oh man. Well, thanks for sharing that because yeah, again, a lot can relate, a lot of people can relate. And it's a slow progress for sure, slow moving for the first little bit, but eventually you'll get there.
Yep. And yeah, it definitely helped my confidence to do that race. And then it was like, okay, we got that far, so what's next?
Mm-hmm.
So that winter, I worked out as much as I could and
Mm-hmm.
just tried to get back to the shape I was in before having the baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I'm going off a little bit, but would you say because of, having a little one, your body has changed? Are you feeling like, are you stronger or are you feeling that you're not quite there yet? Because I know,
Um,
again, our bodies change so much. So it can be a bit tricky.
yeah, I don't. It's hard to say. I guess after going through being pregnant and having a baby, and it basically takes a year,
Mhm.
like all I wanted to do was work out again.
Mhm.
So I was really motivated to get back to that shape, and I felt like it really didn't take me that long to get back in shape. I mean, it took another probably half a year, but I didn't feel like it took as long as when I took an 8-year break
Right.
from training and riding as it did to get back in shape after taking a year off. So
Mhm.
that was interesting. But I definitely have my moments where I just feel exhausted, but I think that's from life too.
Yes, for sure.
Where I
Especially,
just feel like I can't physically do it.
yeah. Well, and I'd like, is she sleeping through the night?
She is actually.
Oh,
I got
she is.
lucky.
Okay. I was gonna say, because sleep for me, oh my gosh, if I don't get a good sleep, like I can't function the next day.
Yeah, I'm the same way. So I was very lucky about that.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
that's
you have your nights though. I mean, there was definitely
mhm.
nights over the winter in that where or when she gets sick.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I could see that where it's like, yeah, you feel like very capable or very, strong and like you can do the things, but it's the exhaustion of like maybe not getting enough sleep, maybe your food intake hasn't been all there because you are trying to make sure everyone else is like happy, fed, and
yeah, just
doing
the go,
good.
go, go. And all of a sudden it's been 2 weeks of go, go, going, and you're just out of juice.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I know there are times where I'm like, I
Those were
just want to starfish in my bed and just be like, ugh, I just
totally.
want to lay
Yeah,
here.
that's why these weekends off are so nice. And it's like I they don't come by very often. So I'm like, this is nice to take those breaks. And it makes you appreciate it more.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Well, speaking of, I guess, breaks, I know you have a few things happening in the next couple of weeks, months. Are you going to take some time off in the winter?
yeah, that's the plan is after this racing season, take a bit of a break. It's the holidays,
Mhm.
relax,
Yeah.
enjoy time with family and friends and not have racing on the mind.
Hmm.
Um, and then early next year I'll start training again and getting ready for what's next.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know when your next race would be?
For
Or
next year,
hmm.
there's a few events on the calendar, but I won't know till it gets closer.
Okay. Yeah,
But
for sure.
there's a few arena cross that I'm trying to get to, but it'll just depend on
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, that's so exciting. And that's actually one of my questions here is, yeah, what does your future look like, you know, from now?
So with everything that's changed and happened, I really like didn't plan my life out this far. So now
Hmm.
everything's like adapting and I'll hit moments like this weekend where or the last couple of weeks where I'm like, all right, I made this plan for the next year having no idea how it was going to turn out. And I still have another big race ahead of me. So if hopefully all goes well and I'm okay, what am I going to do next year? Um, so long term, I didn't even think that I would be still racing, but I
Hmm.
think with all the people that I've met and the girls, and I'm more motivated than ever to keep going
Hmm.
and see, what opportunities lie ahead and the groups that I'm involved with. So I do plan on still racing. I think I'm gonna step back from motocross a little bit, and I might say that now and change my mind next year. But
Totally.
I think I want to do some more hair scrambles next year, is
Okay.
kind of what I'm thinking right now. Again, it all depends on how things go over the next little bit, but I think I'm going to go in that direction for a little bit.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. That's very exciting. And I know we chatted about your bikes last time, but can you tell us what you're riding right now?
Yep. So I still have my 2021 Gas Gas. It's still good for the Gas Gas program right now. So, and I love my bike. Like
Mhm.
I don't even want to give it up to get a new one next year. I did debate getting one this year and then ended up just keeping what I had because it's already set up.
Mhm.
I've done a lot of work to it since we last talked. So you put so much time and resources into it to get it exactly how you want it. So I don't want to start that over just yet. And I have it set up exactly how I want it for motocross and arena cross. So I'm going to keep that bike for a little while. And then we'll reevaluate next year.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, for sure. And do you, even though it's set up for motocross, do you use that same bike for the hair scrambles?
So I did that once hair scramble with it, and it is not set up for hair scrambles,
Okay.
and it made it super challenging because the suspension is so tight in it
Mhm.
for motocross. So I would have to adjust it
Right.
and make a bunch of adjustments to the bike for and change out a bunch of things to do hair scrambles. Uh,
Hmm.
I have another bike. I have a 2007 Yamaha 250,
Okay.
and I'm going to set that one up for hair scrambles. It still needs to be rebuilt, so it's a work in progress. So we'll see what ends up happening. I might run a hair scramble with the gas, but
Hmm.
ideally I would like to do it on that bike, and then I might switch the gas over to a hair scramble bike
Right.
next summer.
Hmm.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Well,
Kind of
it's
depends.
nice that,
Yeah.
yeah, I was going to say it's nice that you have options because, that's one thing. I love riding the track, but it's not as easy for me to go. So, I have, my own little enduro park meant for like woods riding and that sort of thing, like hopping logs. So softer suspension, right?
Mhm.
So I'm not going to switch over my suspension every time I hit the track.
Right.
So it would be nice to have like both or all the bikes,
All the bikes. I know there's so
Yeah.
many motorcycles that I want.
Yes. Yeah. Right. If only. Me
Yeah.
too.
I'd
But
really like to get a dual sport bike. That is we'll see when that happens.
Yeah. Well, to tell me more about that.
So that dual sport, sorry, my dog just busted his way in
It's
here.
all good. Yeah.
This
No
is
worries.
Ruger.
Hi.
Um, so it's a cross between a street legal and a dirt bike.
Okay.
And you can go, there's a lot of groups, and Over and Out has a group, and depending on what region you're in, there's ladies all over the country that do these dual sport rides. And then because it'd be really tough to go out there and try to find all this stuff on your own. People have already done it and mapped out routes, and so you get to see the country that way and go on these adventure rides with groups of people. And so I'd really like to get into that someday.
Totally. I actually watch a lot of YouTube. Well, I watch a lot of YouTube, but there's these girls that are on adventure bikes. So I'm always like, okay, what's the difference between dual and adventure and all these, like dirt bikes, blah, blah. So anyways, yeah, a few of them are on these dual sports. And I love that you can like ride on street and then like dip into the trails if you want to, and explore a little bit off roads and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I've seen the adventure bikes. They're always, I mean, they're built for men. They're really tall, heavy,
yeah.
and I know there's some badass ladies out there that ride those things. And I haven't ridden one yet, so I am curious about it. But I know the dual sport bikes, they're still heavier than your typical trail bike.
Right.
But I think that's more manageable for me,
Mm-hmm.
especially to go off road with it. I think I would enjoy that more.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think I would enjoy that for sure, way more than the adventure bikes. They just seem like they look like a lot of fun, but they just seem so, like if I dropped
Hard to
that,
ride. Yeah.
I don't think I would be able to pick that up.
I wouldn't want to. I just leave it there. I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, kudos to those women that are on those adventure bikes, because
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely
absolutely.
something I'd like to get into someday.
Yeah, well, I am very excited to see if you do. If not, I'm still excited to see all that you do for this season and next season. So, and my last question is where do you get to ride, like for training or just for fun? Do you have a place nearby?
Yeah, my home track is Area 51, where the Can-Am race is the next weekend. So I'll try to get out there and practice when I can. And then the last few years, I built a track at my parents' house. My dad's helped me with that. So I have a little training track. So it's enough to get some exercise and hit some jumps and play on. So that's fun. So that's where I'll practice.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome. I love that. I have a backyard enduro track and I love it.
I know, that's cool. I definitely want to build some enduro features on it.
Yeah, I know we want to build some jumps too, but
Yeah.
our area is sand. So we would need to haul in dirt for that,
Yeah.
and like shape it up. And it would require like probably a few big truckloads.
Mm-hmm.
So one of these days, but
Yep.
yeah, having all the things.
Progress.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing a little bit more insight on what's going on behind the scenes. And
thank you so much for having me back and creating this platform. You're doing so much for our community, and I appreciate everything you do. So thank you.
Well, thanks again. And yeah, just really enjoyed our chat. So enjoy the rest of the day and good luck for next weekend, the Can-Am.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a great summer.
Yeah, you too.
We'll stay in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye.
Bye.